Chapter 34. Oli breathed in through his teeth. He'd picked up his mother's trail, followed it to a small creek. From there, it had been far too easy to see what had happened. He knew the wood baited him, wanted to lead him into a trap. 2 drag lines disturbed the soil like signposts to follow. And even small streaks of blood had been left for him to find. Odd, since the ground here drank blood nearly as fast as it spilt. There was only 2 drag lines, though, and Oli had found boot prints that he thought might be Tall's in the wet dirt near the stream. But he hadn't bothered to follow. Tall wasn't his concern. His mother was. As he followed the tracks, the wood didn't even bother to try and stop him. No vines, no wild animals, no trouble at all. As if the wood wanted him to press on, to survive until the end. The trail led Oli to the same place he had never wanted to be again. The same patch of dirt he'd stood on 11 years before. The clearing stretched out behind him, a vast run of scorched black land. At its center loomed a statue of black, about the size of a man, and fixed upon a pedestal was Star Dovna. It was here that Roy Ricker had dreamed of coming, and here that Leonie Baudelaire had demanded to go. Oli existed in 2 places at once. Or perhaps 2 times at once. He was certainly 2 different people at once. He was Oliver Ricker, the boy, watching his father creep forward into the clearing. He could see Roy turn, his beard filled with dirt. "Come on with me," he had said. But that boy had shook his head. His feet fastened to the ground as surely as if they had been bound by cord or chain. Roy Ricker had faltered, looking from this boy to the statue just 2 bow shots away. Eventually, he'd settled on, "I'll be right back. Keep watch." Oli could feel that boy inside of him now, standing there praying to Deus his father wouldn't go, wouldn't die. There had been so much death that day, a trail of Strayazar bodies littering the wood, all so that Oli's father could stand before this ancient being. Oli felt as if he had never moved since then, as if he had been standing here his whole life, waiting. But he wasn't that boy anymore. Oliver Riker died when he watched his father be cut down, when he had turned and run. Every one of the days since that had been dirt on that boy's grave, burying him deeper and deeper beneath a life of scrounging and fighting and wrestling to just survive. But who had he actually become? The clearing looked as though it had never changed, which Oli supposed it hadn't. Black stumps encircling a black statue beneath a black sky. Red and purple vines lay dormant across the ground like veins, the only color or sign of life. Roy Riker, man or corpse, was nowhere to be seen. Instead, in the place his bones should be, 2 figures knelt. They faced him, proffered up without subtlety or nuance. Oli wanted to turn and run, just like he'd done before. It had kept him alive then. And back then, he had been a boy and his father had been dead, cut down without preamble or pause. Like an animal, Roy Riker had been lured, trapped, killed. That's not how things were now. Now, Oli's mother sobbed. The sound of it was the only noise in all the world, devastating and broken. Perhaps it should have given Oli a slim hope his mother still lived. But Oli was no fool. She would die, and he would die with her. The wood had her, and so it would have him too. The wood had won. It always won. But though he knew that, he couldn't turn and leave. To escape now with the echo of his mother's sobs fading behind him, it'd be too much to bear. He could not enter the clearing and hope to live, but neither could he leave and hope to live with himself. I'm dead already. Anger, low and hot, burned in Ollie's chest. It was wrong, so wrong, that he would work and still not win. Nothing he did mattered. He couldn't feed his family, couldn't outrun the nightmares, couldn't even keep his mother safe. His sister was alone now, and if the stories of the Elmas were true, then she'd be dead soon too. After everything Ollie had done, had survived, after all the fighting and killing, he was still bound to this fate. He squeezed the handle of his bow, the pain in his left hand igniting and stoking his anger. This was all her fault, Star Davna. And that power that she represented, it had lured his father here like a moth to flame. She was the wood, the power drawing the animals deeper in and keeping Ollie from feeding his family. That's why Ollie's father wanted to get to her. He believed he could steal power somehow, had told all the Strayazar he could make the wood safe. Every nightmare, every growl in his stomach, every tear held back was her fault. And now she had drawn his mother in. Star Davna would kill Orelda the way she'd killed Ollie's father, and Ollie hated her for it. Woodsman. Ollie spun toward the sound behind him, yanking the string of his bow back and aiming at Tall. The ranger knelt a few steps away, cloaked in shadow, and so close Ollie had nearly tripped over her. I've been waiting for you. She looked haggard, bleeding from dozens of cuts over her body, a large bruise swelling above her left eye. Ollie looked into the clearing again, feeling more than a little foolish. There were two figures in there, his mother and the princess. He should have known that if Tall wasn't dead, she would have followed Leonie. What happened? We found a stream. Your mother and Princess Leonie wanted to stop and rest. Yeah, that'll do it. I cut away at the vines for a time. Then there were spiders. I tried to fight them off, but Ollie spat to the side. He could imagine how things had gone from there. How aren't you dead? Why does it matter right now? Ollie shrugged. It didn't matter right now. Though something nagged at him that maybe it did matter. Well, I'm going after her. He thrust a thumb toward his mother, still sobbing. This is as good a time as any to turn back if you're gonna. I have a duty. We can go together. Ollie shrugged. Then I guess we die together. Come on. Ollie breathed in and turned toward the clearing. This was it then. He would step forward and see what happened next. He figured he would die like his father, which seemed fitting. His heart beat hard enough as to almost drown out the sound of his boot stepping onto the black dirt, marking the border of the clearing. Ollie paused after the first step, waiting, though nothing happened. He moved on, Tall coming up behind him. The statue didn't move as he drew near. From where Ollie was, Star Davna hardly looked larger than a figurine you could hold in your hand. Star Davna was a black-cloaked figure of glistening onyx, and yet so much more. Her consciousness ran through the wood, through the soil and the trees. Even above Orelda's crying, Ollie knew she could hear his light steps. His father had talked of her with reverence, as though she were a god. He hadn't cared for Deos, for the order. He said there were older gods, wilder ones that could be harnessed. Oi, listen to me, Ollie called out, eyes locked on the statue. I'm coming for her, you hear? I'm coming, and if you hurt her, I'll drag your stony hide down to the grave. Nothing happened. I know you can hear me, Ollie growled, stalking forward faster now. He wanted to say more, to use words with meaning and with power. He longed to know the name of everything his eyes could see, to recall their names like he had with the deer and with the stone. Words emerged in his mind, unbidden, words Ollie had never known before. Yet the words each came to him with their meanings as well. Ollie wielded each word like a weapon, flinging them towards Star Davna in a mad tirade. Lia Iano, Kali Ubech. I will be your death. At those words, Ollie felt the ground shudder and watched as the head of Star Davna turned toward him.